years since my last toast. I used to wear a crown then. That night changed everything. I remember it like it was yesterday. It is a day I'd be so happy to forget, but memory likes to hold on to pain, doesn't it? That toast marked the end of my short but eventful reign. We were all sitting in the grand hall, a marvelous feast set out before us. It had everything. Venison, fruit, wine. My goodness, the wine was imported from the most prestigious of vineyards, but that simply turned out to be a polish to hide the impurities that had sunk deep within our skin. We were hungry wolves civilized temporarily by fine dining. They raised a toast to me, their benevolent queen. Many blessings, long live the queen and whatnot. They didn't mean a single word of it, though. After about an hour of merrymaking, my fate had been sealed. A duke given the name Moses by the peasantry had informed me that he was now king. That was when I found out how truly alone I was. Everyone I once thought were my friends had sold me out to him. I was in my own Gethsemane. It was in that moment I realized that betrayal hurt Caesar more than the knives. Even with blades rending his flesh, I believe Caesar only felt the weight of betrayal in his final moments. Shock overcame my body as I became a mere fate-struck observer to my own dethroning. There was nothing I could do as my whole life collapsed within on itself. This duke was a man of promise, and that was enough for my own people to turn to him. He promised wealth and power to those who supported him. It wasn't difficult to see that he was using the fools, but I've learned that people prefer empty promises over the truth. How else would the charlatans of this world gain their immense power? His strong men escorted me out, and I got one last look at his smug, gleeful face. Killing me would have been unpopular, so exile was the only option left. It only took a few hours for me to be on the way to the island of my exile. I was stripped of everything, and I became no different from the peasants I had lorded over for years. I cursed the illegitimate king and his followers. Without my crown, I was nothing. I could always justify the way I lived by the simple fact that I was queen. After all, I was told it was God's will with us with divine birthright to enjoy the wonders of lives while the peasants starved. That night was a long time ago. My attendants in exile actually say what they mean and mean what they say. This was new. You don't get that a lot with court intrigue. Actors and actresses, that's what we nobles are, with a mask as our tool of trade. A novel discovery I made is that my attendants are happy with their simple families and modest homes. Understanding this wasn't easy for me. They had no wealth or power, and their lives were in total subservience to the nobles. Maybe it's because they were never able to taste the sweet fruit of nobility. They had to find their identities in something other than a title. Something I didn't know was possible. My body grows frail in my years of exile. Joints stiffen, skin wrinkles. My time grows short. Very short, wouldn't you say, Captain? I like to believe that this exile and its many diseases are to blame for my premature aging. But I know that's not true. A disease of the heart is to blame. Bitterness. How could I not be bitter? I had every right to be. Introspection didn't come easy to me, but when I was finally able to look inside myself, I saw a girl who had a monster take her place long ago. That is when I realized that my life had been in exile far before I came to this island. For the first time in my life, I came face to face with that monster. That girl was beautiful, unblemished by this world. I was faced with a choice. I took the girl's hand and I shunned the monster. And that is when I realized that the girl was me. I wept. Danced like a buffoon and wept again, all within the hour of my deliverance. Ashes to ashes, isn't that the saying? My body will be ashes soon, but my spirit will live on, more free than ever. Kingdoms and empires rise and fall. One just has to look at the ruins of the Grand Roman Empire to know this. We will all return to the ground as ashes. But a beautiful phoenix must be reborn from the ashes. Thus is the agnatic cycle of life. I do miss many things about being queen. At least as queen I could change things. My life had more purpose then. If only I had learned what I learned in my years of exile beforehand, things could have been different. My life wouldn't have to end like this. I could have died with the dignity of the crown. My only comfort is knowing that I'll be able to see my beautiful homeland one last time. My father's spirit can rest knowing that the last of his house's blood will be spilled in his countryside. But ashes is all that life is now, and the wind just keeps blowing. So, Captain, will you join me in one last toast to the ashes?